I ordered a hot dog and I swear the ketchup on it was the best I ever tasted. I asked the vendor what brand it was and he said, "That's not ketchup, that's blood from a dead child." Wow, Costco hot dog hidden topping. You gotta build up quite the rapport with the food court employees for them to hook it up like that. Or so I've been told. Welcome back to House of Two Sentence Horrors, the stupid little video series where we watch every episode of a forgotten CW show just to bask in its ineptitude. Last episode we got a laughably bad home invasion story filled with editing mistakes so glaring that even Helen Keller would point them out from a mile away. Today's episode is called Scion. The plot summary reads as follows. When a rebellious young teen is diagnosed with terminal cancer, his family's legacy and wealth ensure him a place in an exclusive experimental treatment center that has a far more sinister transformation in mind. Low-key, not gonna lie, I think that gives away a little bit too much about the plot. Also, terminal cancer, you say? Funnily enough, that is one of the most common ways I hear people describing this mistake of a show. We got a happy young couple watching a plane go by while sitting on a bench. Someone with a decent job has both money and limited time, so a date needs to be of a higher caliber for them to consider it. When you're working a career, you don't go sit in the park and go, "A plane go by." Our two unnamed characters are talking about life plans here in this scene. One of them points at the plane and says, "That's us in 2023 going to Brazil." Now, I don't mean to tell people how to plan their lives, but this episode is set in late 2019, meaning the trip to Brazil would be 4 years from now. Young love is typically not so long-lived, but go ahead. Dream beyond your means. Hopefully, he doesn't know about the whole terminal cancer thing, because if he did, that would make that into kind of a fucked up thing to say. That'd be pretty sick and twisted taunting he's doing there. The little park bench date continues until a random jogger interrupts their kissing session. He doesn't say anything either, not a single word. Why did he do this? It wasn't even especially rough or violent. He just kind of goes up to him and then separates them. It's like this man had a set path to run on and could not deviate it, so he had no choice but to go through them. Then our septum piercing character picks a fight with him. You kind of just got embarrassed, dude. He's like 9 feet away and feigns a punch in your direction, and you just fold like a French omelet. Then he silently jogs away. Maybe that guy just really hates public indecency and was upholding his moral code. We will never know though, because this bizarre scene is over and will never be given any further context. Alright, one good thing to come out of this baffling exchange was that we now know one character's name. It's Isaac. He's the one without a septum piercing, wearing a denim jacket. Our other character starts coughing up a storm to the point where he is like on the ground passing out. Dude, you were gonna pick a fight with a man twice as big and strong as you are when your body is in this state? I know he has terminal cancer and nothing to lose, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't know that yet in the episode. I don't think he's aware of the sickness. Whack. Alright, so now he is with his parents in a treatment ward out of the 1950s. Hey, you know what though? These parents seem okay. I'm sure they have issues like all wealthy people, but at least they're here for their son and they're trying to get him help. Wow, he looks like... What has it been, like a single day? Weeks? How much time has passed since he collapsed in the park? Isaac is wearing the same jacket, so I'm guessing it's been like 45 minutes. What the hell happened to him? Dude, what? A creepy nurse and a record player. This place is genuinely decades in the past and is supposed to be using cutting-edge stem cell-based therapy to treat terminal cancer. It's not even like the place just looks because they're spending all their money on stem cell stuff. What the fuck is this guy sweeping? Is this an animatronic? Freddy Fazbear? There's nothing on the floor. He's just here static like a statue. He looks like that, what was that art piece called where it was just a robot like scraping up its own blood grease substance all the time? That's what he's like. And It's giving me weird vibes already. The vibes are already flooding in, and they are weird because now we've got the head nurse slash potential witch. I don't know. She's saying that because the treatment can be quite stressful on the patients, they take extra care to make them as comfortable as possible. Why would that manifest as sending them back in time to the 50s or the 40s? This is like some of the worst times in American history. This building probably doesn't even have central AC, and let me tell you, that is not very conducive to providing maximum comfort. Septum Boy over here looks at the sweeping zombie and he gets creeped out. Judgy much? I'm allowed to judge him because I have the fourth wall breaking knowledge that something is up here and these people are up to no good. You don't know that. This dude just has a little bit of a scar on his face and a messed up eyeball, but he's still allowed to have a job and live life. I hate this rich little brat now. Their tour is completed and he settles into his new room. She said that every patient would have a luxurious master suite to themselves, but this is about the level of a Motel 6. It's got a small bed and 2 bookshelves. Now this is the pinnacle of high society comfort. Isaac sits on the bed with him and says, "You're gonna kick this cancer's ass." This is very sweet and very supportive. I like that. Since when have I been able to kick anyone's ass is other guy's response. First of all, that is true. You seem like a bitch, and that makes your choice to pick a fight in the park even more confusing. Second of all, stop being so negative. It's not like you're dying. Oh, wait. My bad. Okay, negativity excused just this once. There are some shadowy figures around his bed. Now that is a little bit sinister. Emperor Palpatine from Star Wars has cloned himself and is haunting this young man. Was that? Hold on. What? Was that supposed to be a dream? Huh? So he was asleep. All the people were standing around him. Then he wakes up as if he was having a nightmare. Was he dreaming about himself sleeping in third person, or was he just having an unrelated nightmare? You can't get any cell phone reception here? No 5G? I thought this place is supposed to be balling out of control and stress-free. Actually, not having a phone would probably eliminate a lot of stress after an adjustment period, so okay, never mind. That's 1 point for the weird time-traveling treatment facility. But now, again, our main character is looking upon this sweeping man in horror. He's just relaxing after work, dude. What's your problem? You never had one of those days where you just want to whack your head a couple times after you get off work, after your shift's over? Probably not, you unemployed heathen. And I can already hear the naysayers say, well, Squid, it's kind of creepy how he is staying in the same spot. Yeah? So what? Do you see any dust and or debris built up in this area? And no, I don't think so, idiot. This next scene is a pivotal one, not because of the clunky dialogue, which believe me, there is plenty of. Dear God, the writing of this episode is nails on a chalkboard, painful to watch. And it's also not because we finally clearly get told what our main character's name is. It's Noah Ingram. It's because the head evil nurse doctor lady just kind of stabs him with a needle when he talks about the sweeping man. Like literally, he asks about him and is like, "What's up with that dude?" And she's fucking, she stabs him in the arm. Good job. Keep stabbing him. Aw, he made a little cancer friend. How nice. I know I just said this, but I cannot say enough how awful the dialogue is in this episode. I'm actually so bored now, too, so checked out of this episode. I've started to just come up with wild theories for no reason about what this episode's twist will be. I think, first of all, his new friend here can go one of 3 routes. First, he's not real and was never real. Second, he is real, but he like disappears and the villains try and gaslight our main character and possibly us into thinking he was not real. And a third possibility is that somehow he's involved in the villain's plot and there's a reveal and he's like, well, I'm on this side and I think you are stupid now. So I don't know. This treatment facility, it's got to be some kind of weird like demon immortality, right? Like a wealthy man from the past is using these cancer children to sustain himself, maybe? Or a demon runs this place? Who cares? The head doctor lady's probably a goddamn demon. I don't even know. Speaking of head doctor lady, she comes in to do a muscle test, and what do we get? You guessed it. More dog awful garbage fire dialogue. This time, it's about strength. He says, "No part of me is strong," which is probably true. He is a bitch. But she responds with, "Strength isn't about muscles." Excuse me, lady, what the actual are you talking about? You came to check his muscles and then commented that his legs were strong, meaning his leg muscles. But strength has nothing to do with muscles. Did his legs impress you with their morality and mental fortitude? Oh my god, she crunched it up. Wow, she just grabbed his leg and crunched on it. I guess his legs were more of an emotional type of strong after all, because she just broke it like a spaghetti noodle. Ugh, his fingernails are disgusting. Why do you give him those? Ugh, god. Don't give him that. Nobody else has fingernails like that here. That's gross. Noah and his new buddy start sneaking around at night looking for clues. He suspects that there's hijinks afoot and he wants to get to the bottom of it. Well, I say sneaking, but they are actually just walking around normally and speaking too, so I guess they really aren't sneaking. Hey, you guys should try sneaking. It may prove beneficial, because I don't think you're supposed to do this. Also, surely any secrets in the head lady's office would be well hidden, so you couldn't find them anyways. Oh, what's that? Never mind. Okay, it's just right there, basically out in the open, the evil book. Izzy starts having a seizure type of thing. I actually don't think I've said his name yet, but there you go. It's Izzy. That's the friend's name. You guys were already failing pretty bad at being sneaky before. This is taking it to a whole new level, though. One thing I think you always want to avoid when trespassing is having a serious medical emergency that requires you to call the very people you are wrongdoing. Usually not something that comes with a large amount of success in its wake. Did they beat out of Noah off screen? I mean, he's always looked bad, but this kind of deliberate and focused bruising on like his lip and around his eyes, it makes it look like they beat him up, like he was assaulted big time. And he's trying to be a little roustabout to the woman who's treating him, the doctor, and he brings up his smoking gun, which is the old book he saw for 3 whole seconds, and her response is, "Yeah, I collect antique books, dude. Owned." Then she says, "Oh, what? Did you think your treatment came from that book, you idiot?" Owned again. Successfully gaslit and girl bossed. I don't know why I feel so helpless here. Maybe because you are helpless, you dip. You are a prisoner taking mystery drugs, and even in your pre-drugged state, you couldn't have escaped from a paper bag because of the park scene where he was taking fights well beyond his mean. Why does everyone in Noah's life keep lying to him like this? This dude is gonna try and lift up a weight and throw his back out because everyone keeps hyping him up as being this strong guy. What in the world is going on? Oh my lord, someone please help me, please. Oh, okay. When Noah and the doctor lady are on screen together, it genuinely feels like I'm watching 2 aliens. Not like 2 alien characters in the context of the show, like 2 aliens disguised as humans auditioned to be on the show and were cast as if they were people. I don't think there's any way for me to explain this scene to you and have it come across as strange as it does to me while I'm watching it, but I'm going to try. Noah wakes up from a crazy nightmare on a couch opposite of the doctor. He is confused, and she says, "How's this treatment making you feel?" He whines and complains like the bitch he is. Then she sits down next to him. Then she starts stroking his hair and says, "Bet you don't ever want to feel like a huge pussy like you did in the park ever again, huh?" Then the scene ends with a slow-mo head turn close-up of Noah's face. How did she know about the park? Why did they make the editing choice to show her sitting down but not standing up out of her chair? Why is she stroking his hair like a creeper? Was Noah brought into this therapy session asleep, or did he fall asleep mid-session long enough to have a full-on nightmare? And like, if he did fall asleep mid-session, why did neither of them mention it? If he didn't fall asleep mid-session and was brought in while he was already asleep, why didn't he question that when he woke up? Good lord, this episode is so bad. Noah kind of has a little freak out session that leads to him finding a spooky symbol below his bed. Has that been there, or did they just add that? Here's a thought for whoever put that there. Paint it on the actual bottom of the bed, not the floor, so that way he can't see it if he looks down. Honestly, even if he didn't look under the bed on purpose, he would have seen this if he just dropped something and bent over to pick it up. It's like this is your guy's first time using an experimental treatment facility as a front to do demon death rituals on cancer teens or something. Oh, finally. Okay, we're at the climax of the episode. Noah wakes up in BDSM gear, surrounded by hooded figures and Dr. Lucy. His parents are there too. Noah's dad calls Lucy his master and says all their wealth comes from her. Her eyes flash into a sort of, like some sort of snake thing, maybe? Then she explains that she gives families power and wealth in exchange for some of their offspring. Are you serious, though? This is the climax of the episode. This is where this built up to. I suffered through all of this historically bad writing and editing for this generic parents promise the devil their firstborn plot. He just accepts her offer too. He becomes a host for, demon babies? I'm not really sure. And the episode ends with him breaking up with his boyfriend because he's all better now. Let that be a lesson to you kids. If you support your lover at their lowest point, they'll bring you to yours. Or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. This episode has made me feel like I actually have meningitis. I am finally free. Whoo boy. Okay. This episode sucked my dick, and I hated almost every single second of it. Maybe they were going for like the same kind of thing as The Lighthouse, editing in such a way that you feel disoriented and not safe. Only problem with that is in order for me to have feel disoriented, in order for me to have felt that, I have to have felt oriented in the first place, and this episode never even got me to a comfortable baseline before starting this schizo editing. The whole, oh boy, I could go into a whole separate rant about that, but the whole editing to make you feel is not even a concept I like when really skilled and talented people do it, let alone the absolute toads at the CW. I'm also really confused about what the message of this episode was, because each episode of the show has had a really like heavy-handed social commentary aspect to it, like abuse is bad, getting deported sucks, that kind of thing, but like, what is this? They kept repeating like strength comes from more than just muscles, but what? Strength comes from making a deal with a demon? What? Or his dad repeated something to him where he's like, emotions are the enemy of strength. And so I thought maybe the whole message of the episode was going to be like that he used them to become the source of his strength or something. But no, the episode just ends and he's like, okay, I'll become a demon servant and I'm all good now. When it comes to rating this episode, giving it its score, I'm going to just say there is nothing giving it points other than Isaac being an absolute saint of a boyfriend to Noah. 7 out of 100. That's right, single-digit score. I said Isaac was giving the episode points, but unfortunately for his character, every single other aspect of the episode was adding a -20 to the score counter. The scariest part of this entire episode was imagining that there could potentially still be a worse one ahead of us. Today's featured comment is from Leon the Lion, and it says, she didn't even try and open the window and pull the screen off so they can escape. I feel like they deserve to die. At least you're making the episode more entertaining than it could ever be on its own. A mix of both valid criticism for the episode and a nice compliment for little old me. Thank you. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I hope nothing bad ever happens to even one singular member of this community. See ya.